Legend that we believe that we redeem for a better life. The enemy is never gonna let us sleep in peace. I let the witches left with peace. Now you there yet? There I go. See, hey, what's up, y'all? You see me? See me?
Hi, how you doing? How your mama doing? How your daddy them? Yeah, so I want y'all just to chill for a minute while I get myself together. That's what I was trying to do. So, you know what I mean? If you don't mind just taking the back seat for a little bit while I chill. Grand Rise. What's going on? 10 minutes in, and we're going to get on to topic. So, today, I was going to speak specifically to the value of what should and what happened, right? What should and what happened. What happened? Involvement, redirection, manipulation, and all forms to serve outside sources of a creation source. Now, the work in our being of being creation is showing it in its own aspect. Everything how we come with a dimension. So it's like soon as you're consummated, you're in like a sack, and then you grow in that sack, and then that sack opens up to be inside the belly, and then inside the belly you grow in there, and then the belly opens up for you to come through, and then out of that circle you come into this one, and then you grow past this one, and it's like a conscious awareness. Like your conscious awareness is able to see where it can travel through as it grows in different heights, but constantly this is a constant birth. This is why I say in this, that's why I say in that poetry, it's like a farushka, dog. Like it's like I am the cells of me inside me, and then they are the same. Like in me, we are like a farushka, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in that poetry, but ultimately that is the value, and subsequently we're getting pulled to be aggressed in things that don't have value, right? They don't have no value. Everything that's given to you was given to you by universal principle. That's the only value in existence, right? The only true value in existence. So ultimately, what's taking place is you are, and we say this numerous amount of times, you are putting your energy on expectancies for life to be, not what life is. So ultimately, we all are doing this. Like, just think about it. The choices of reality that we deal with, the choices of reality that we deal with, we call it prioritizing. Ultimately, if you are left unchecked or unmanipulated, you know what I'm saying, unsubsequental, what would have been or how would have been your mentality growing from, and also the people who brought your light in, what would have been their mentality, and then their, you know, their so forth and on, like the lineage, what would be, how would they be, not opposed to, you know, culturist aspects, like how would that be? And you know, some people try to say these are tribes that were untouched and left alone. I don't believe that. I don't be believing that. I'll be looking and I'll be like, they lying. You mean untouched? Nah, that's not untouched. That's not what untouched looks like. You know what I'm saying? Spirit, true universal spirituality has uh it's almost like it's almost like how it's shown in cartoons, like you was a normal person and then you woke up with extraordinary sensibilities. And it takes a period of time for you to merge into these sensibilities. So now when you start merging into them, people are looking at it to be some level of respect and you have to do this and do that. No, that's because people want to be able to control you. Once you can be put in any type of box, you can be controlled. Once somebody says, "I thought it was like this," or "You should do this," or "This is not the way," they're trying to put you in a box. And the way they do that is by subsequently attacking your character value, by adding to that conversation indirect value to the circumstance. So therefore, you have to feel inadmissible about the context. So while you're feeling admissible by the context, you're actually missing the point of what you should have been doing in the first place, because now your focus is on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is how we are brought down and belittled. Whether people understand that definition or how it actually works, that's how that plays out. You know what I'm saying? So it's science to it. It's science to all of it. But naturally, we're too far down the line to look at the beginning, to look at the past. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't remove what's in the DNA. Like, this was fortuitive. That means we saw this coming regardless. We saw this in the ether. We decided to join the iniquity that was going to take place. You decided to come down here and be the person that you are because your spirit knew that that person that you were, you can change from, you can rise from. They knew that individual that you were coming down here in, the spiritual energy that you was, potential through the particular values of what you would go through would ultimately be what you use or manifest your rise through in particular. Now, you know what? And I don't want to lead a lot of you to a wrong door. What I want to tell you ultimately is a lot of you are not even on this level yet. That doesn't mean you won't be here in your next life, or some traumatic circumstance, or some, you know, shock of in, intuitivity, some shock of intuitivity that would allow you to aggress your own conscious awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that may happen to you. You might get hit on the head hard, you know what I'm saying? And then you come out of that, you like, wait, I'm noticing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point. That's the point. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell you that you're gonna understand anything that I say. But this is what it is. And eventually, whether it's now or later, you're going to come to this knowledge, whether it's in this lifetime or next. You might get it later in this lifetime. I can't speak on the time frames of divine, but that's ultimately what happens. Excuse me. I'm trying to I'm trying to share the stream right now, yo. All right.
Well, keep the shades on. No, no. What? You bullshit, dude. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. Be cute. Come on, let's go. She said, okay.
All right, so and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with understanding that a lot of people not on that level to get the highest level of knowledge, but it's a bunch of us out here that are on this level. So you know what I start to see that even higher versions of one's particular energy is being merged into a particular energy for you to feel comfortable in society. We ain't here to feel comfortable with nobody. We ain't here to fit in. None of that. We here to reset the way it looks and what that means. We here to take back your own personal way of doing things. We here to show people to do that. Stop trying to, you know what I'm saying? Stop trying to be like, stop trying to be what somebody tell you is right. As soon as you start leaning on that, you start throwing away everything about yourself small. It starts happening small. You start throwing away all the increments about yourself when you start leaning on the idealistic value of how people say you should present yourself. And ultimately, you stop listening to what divine has for you. You start putting that in a child place. You start putting that in a place that's not connection for you. And ultimately, you are pouring out everything that was made up in you to bring you where you going to go. Start pouring all that out. It get ugly. It get ugly. And then you start seeing how people walk around with bird suits on. You know what I'm saying? With bird suits on, and you done cut off all your antennas. You know what I'm saying? And you looking like, no, that's not what it is. They changed that. They said we can be. Who changed what? And then they come in and be like, well, Divine sends this and they'll do that. Well, you know what? Divine don't send nothing. You wake up to Divine. That's why I thought that was always weird. I'm like, yo, they always talking about Divine sending messengers and all this. Why is that a contrast? Like, why is it a contrast? The contrast is it's not about Divine sending messages. Divine already sent the message. The energy has already been laid in the universe forever. Before anybody was able to come around and say that Divine sent them a particular message, the energy was already there. The knowledge was already there. It's forever knowledge. It's the way. Every time you stick your head up, it's going to be the same knowledge from dinosaur times into the future. It's going never going to change. Knowledge is going to be the same. What happens is perception and interpretation plays a role. And because people are able to do something out of their norm, they feel like they're chosen or they feel like they're picked. Nothing picks you. Nothing picks you. Focus does. And ultimately, you can be a bozo that focuses and get the good knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be somebody that's been boo-boo the fool your whole life and ain't nobody been, you know what I'm saying, digging with you. But ultimately, you decide to sit down and balance those energies out and something happens. This is what I mean. It can happen for anybody. It just depends on how well you take your stillness. Like how serious you take yourself. Ultimately, how serious are you going to take you? You know what I'm saying? Everybody produces a level of melanin, depending if it's a little or a lot. You still do it. So, you know what I'm saying? Understanding the fact that I can have I can have the value of everybody woke in their own particular way, saying that opposed to saying that, oh, this is not for everybody. You know, you just can't be doing this or whatever. This is not that. I'm not coming at nobody neck right now. I'm just saying ultimately, I know there's idiocy. I know there's stupidity in this world. I also know where those I'm missing. They are not here. I do not like that. Um. Okay, I gotta go to intermission. Hold on, I gotta find something. So bear with me.
Man, I might name my album that. That's why I might name it. It's an album release party every time I step out. Welcome to the Grammys. It's nasty, you heard? It's paper. Man, I might name my album that. That's why I might name it. Man, I might name my album that. That's why I might.
My bad. I had to go. Not what I was looking for. All right, so and it's crazy because like back in the day, I used to be all upset about what would happen if we was just left alone. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they was throwing out iniquities at the culture, like we had no control. They kept trying to make it look like we was weak, and I'm like, yo, if y'all was just never around, how we probably would have came out different, right? You know what I'm saying? I just say stuff like that. Naive, just feeling the vibes of whatever particular energy that was. And ultimately, the more you grow into this understanding, you start seeing that's really what it was supposed to be. You were supposed to be able to, grow correctly. But then since the universal energy is not placed in time nor space or has degradation like on our plane of existence, anytime we deal with a level of consciousness, a conscious awareness, we can tap directly into that energy. Now, there's things that can happen with your body that you don't know. And I know this because I've experienced certain things that I don't have a loud enough audience. I never had a loud enough audience or somebody to visualize it with me when it took place to actually see it as great. But some people seen it and they'll be like, I don't know. I don't know what that was. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can change, yo. You can change. And it's not like what the world trying to do. I keep saying this, the world trying to mimic you. You don't see it because you're not waking up to who you are yet, but the world trying to mimic you. Both keep telling you who you are. And these people at a certain time, they accomplish these different values so you can accomplish them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't know if you ever heard your parents say, man, I went to jail. I did all that in the streets already, so y'all ain't got to do that. Think about that. Where that come from? There was some great spiritual people that already conquered things that now it's embedded into your DNA. It's in your flesh. You can summon things within you to come up. You know what I'm saying? As far as particular values, unlocking certain potentials and stuff of that nature. But ultimately, some people ain't even on that level yet. They haven't accessed that level. You still in the level of belief, knowing, um, just being, belief, and knowing. Those three is like 3,000 year time frames. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of people still in those frames, just being, believing, and knowing. Yeah, we in a time of knowing, but it's stuff past that. It's stuff past that already. And once you agree with the time of knowing, you know what knowing does? Show you what's coming the next day because it's knowing. Knowing knows what's coming after it because it's knowing. So once you give respect to knowing, knowing lets you know on every aspect. You don't even have to ask it. You're just in the wave of knowing. So now you start knowing. People don't. They don't want to. They don't want to. They don't want to relate to these particular values, thinking that subsequently you can put whatever title to these things how you see fit. Hold on, let me put a post on TikTok real quick. I gotta tell TikTok.